It is time. It is time. It is finally time to batten down the hatches because all of that insanity that we have been waiting to come to fruition in 2024 is about to turn up because we are about 10 days out from the first round of presidential debates, with neither of the participants in said debate being the official nominee from their party. At least the DNC and the RNC haven't taken place yet, and kind of got a theory on this one. Let me tangent from the topic here, just quickly. I'm kind of putting this out there, floating this out there, because we're going to delve a little bit deeper into this stuff. I'm kind of thinking that they're going to use this, okay? We're talking about the DNC here. They're going to use this as a testing ground just to see if they can try to push Biden across the finish line, because they don't really want to burn anybody in the 2024 election. But if Biden's deteriorating as quickly as he has been, especially in recent public appearances, especially one that took place on Saturday, it's like nobody's going to believe that the Democrats are a serious party moving forward. So that's probably why the idea that, we'll just go ahead and we'll have our first debate far too early in the election season, given the fact that, none of the conventions have officially happened. None of the delegates have been set. The ballots have been counted in certain states. And it is a foregone conclusion that it's going to be Trump against Biden. But nothing's been made official yet. And then now on the RNC side, since we've got the DNC stuff all figured out, I don't know if you guys have seen, and given the fact that I'm recording this a Monday evening, there was just some news that came out. They're putting fencing around the U.S. Supreme Court, and the last time they did that was when Roe v. Wade got overturned. So methinks that some of those rulings that are going to be coming out of the court, which I think last week or the week before it was towards the tail end of last week, we got the note from the Supreme Court that they overturned Trump's single stupidest decision to have this bump stock ban after the Las Vegas shooting, where it's like, can we get to the bottom? No, okay, cool, less said about that the better. Great. But no, banning of bump stocks, it's like, cool, you don't think that the founding fathers would have anticipated adding a spring to a firearm? It's like, oh, okay, cool. Thank God that got overturned. Took them long enough. But the expedited appeal on, say the New York decision that went down last month in regards to Trump, then also having a knock-on effect for the other trials that are scheduled, having a downstream effect on that. That could be riot-worthy, because there's nothing else that really, outside of a lot of older cases that probably have more of a knock-on effect for, your average everyday people. But what would end up driving the most fervor? And what would they be trying to proactively prevent and then just try to stoke a certain base in order to run back the 2020 situation as much as they can? Because, the Dems are planning something, right? They don't really have a plan B or C. They have plan A. They'll try to run it back again. It's just, I don't really know if they're going to be able to overcome this impending landslide, and especially when they drive it home with this stupid, goofy-ass debate that's going to be taking place next Thursday. So CNN issued several controversial presidential debate rules over the weekend that will govern the encounter between former President Donald Trump and current President Joe Biden on June 27th. The new rules come after Trump said in March that he would debate Biden anywhere, anytime, anyplace, putting pressure on Biden to participate in the event. The Biden campaign agreed in May and, set a pair of dates, the first one being on CNN. So they are laying the groundwork, and this is also going to be most prominent CNN has been and have the most eyeballs that CNN has been able to muster since, the last time Trump was on their network. But CNN announced additional parameters on Saturday. 2 commercial breaks. Campaign staff will not be able to interact with the candidate during the break. Weird. So it's like, no cornermen at the end of the rounds? Weird. No opening statements. 2-minute closing statements. That's weird. No opening statements. So just immediate, here's question, that are all just going to favor the Democratic platform, I would imagine. And then, of course, yes, mics to be muted. Trying to put 2 words together on that one. Expect many blunders like that from Biden, especially towards the tail end of the 90-minute debate. That was probably the most shocking Everything else, it just kind of makes sense, right? Because CNN knows that they're going to be getting probably 8 digits of viewers on this one. Okay, this is going to be a big deal. And I don't know how I'm going to be covering it, but I'm going to be covering it in some form or fashion because I've been looking forward to this. This is something that I've been talking about, just salivating over the prospect of for the better part of 4 years, man. I've wanted these debates so bad. And especially with Biden in the current state that he's in, this is going to be high quality television. This is going to be the first piece of appointment viewing that I have partaken in years. Anyways, the debate will include 2 commercial breaks, knowing that they can drive up revenue, hence why they announced this so early and made these proclamations, because they could have just went to both campaigns and said, yeah, okay, here's the rules, here's the platform, and just, plan accordingly. But no, they put that out there to temporarily drive up AvRev. Campaign staff may not interact with the candidate during that time, microphones muted, and some aspects of the debate, including the absence of a studio audience. Okay, so no studio audience, but there will be a podium. So the Biden team request that this just be a sit-down encounter, it doesn't look like that is taken seriously. It's like, listen, we know the Biden's mental fitness, okay, his old ass maybe not being able to competently stand up for 90 minutes, we'll be able to put that to the test, but I guess we're going to see. We're going to see on Thursday, that's for true. It's really going to be a big test for Joe because the last time he was out there in public was over the weekend. In fact, on Saturday, it was a big old star-studded event to really kick off the campaign season. That's what I mean, man. All of this insanity that we've been bracing for that has been rather quiet, rather muted so far because, yeah, you had the Trump lawsuits and, yeah, you had a little bit of rumblings from the White House, but nothing any more significant than what it has been. It's just been very muted so far. It's just now's when things start to get a bit crazy. George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Barack Obama were all up there to make sure that good old Joe would be put front and center. And, well, let's just say Joe's not quite ready for prime time, but George Clooney, Julia Roberts warned democracy and our children's future are at stake if Trump wins. Yeah, no, they're very much correct because you would technically want your children, both of which I don't think Clooney has kids. Julia Roberts' kids are grown at this point in time. Like, these are old people, man. Like, these are old, irrelevant Hollywood hacks at a time when nobody looks at Hollywood very favorably at all. It's just so wonderful, given the fact how poorly of a year Hollywood is having. The only place to have an even worse 2024 so far has been the Biden administration, so it's so nice that both of these parties can come together hand in glove. Hollywood stars George Clooney and Julia Roberts struck an ominous note at Saturday's glitzy Los Angeles fundraiser for Joe Biden, warning that democracy and our children's future are at risk if former President Donald Trump retakes the White House in November. Clooney, Roberts lent their considerable star power to the big Hollywood party, which raised around $30 million for Biden's re-election campaign. That's kind of crazy, man. $30 million in a single night by bringing together all of Hollywood's brightest stars. And it's so funny, right? Because after it was announced that Trump was found guilty on all 34 felony counts in New York, which kind of looks like it's going to end up getting picked up on appeal, he raised, what was that, from just regular people, $70 million over the course of 2 days. So yeah, goes to show you the power of the people as opposed to the power of Hollywood. Hey, what do I know, right? I'm not a big star like everybody that's up there, right? Yeah. Take it from somebody who got famous for playing a hooker on screen. And no, I'm not talking about Brock. Somebody who plays a fake doctor. Okay, democracy and our children's future are at stake, or the host on the evening, which, I mean, how pathetic was this? Jimmy Kimmel says America might need an exorcism at a Hollywood Biden fundraiser. Again, having the meeting of Hollywood, or at least the public meeting, because, behind the scenes, these guys talk all of the time, but the public meeting between the two most satanic groups, arguably, in the Western world, and it's like you might be hitting a little bit too close to home, okay? We've seen how badly or how poorly your jokes bombed at the Oscars, but I guess he's still sticking by that old axiom of there's a little kernel of truth in every joke. Some of Hollywood's brightest stars headlined a glitzy fundraiser for Biden on Saturday night, helping raise a re-election campaign. Said it was about 28 million, 30 million, whatever, man. It really doesn't much matter. All of that money's getting laundered somewhere. Clooney, Roberts, Barbara Streisand were among those who took the stage of the 7,100-seat Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. Late-night host Jimmy Kimmel interviewed Biden and former President Barack Obama, who both stressed that they They need to defeat the former president, Donald Trump, in a race that's expected to be exceedingly close. Unless, of course, you look at the polls, and this is definitely heading to a 72 or an 84 style election, but all in due time, right? During more than a half an hour of discussion where Biden was sat down and Barack Obama, who I despise probably more than Biden, given the fact that this really is Biden's third term and he is, in fact, the shadow president, because, and that's not a race thing. It's like, does anybody believe this stuttering, muttering old prick is actually in control of anything, let alone his old faculties? Because you got clips like this, right? You got clips like this, and we don't really need the sound or anything, especially on this one. Also because there's copyright music in the background. But here you have, okay, so you got Biden, you got Kimmel, and Biden, I don't know, what is he throwing up the old Roman salute there for a second? But somebody in the crowd, and Biden, once again, kind of like he's lost. I mean, he's just kind of stood there. Like, at least Kimmel's going back and forth, but not until Barack reaches over and tries to reanimate him. But Biden, especially during his presidency, has always kind of had that upright gait, but then, you know, he just kind of has clunky throwing his legs for. He's kind of like he throws his knees forward and then just hopes his feet land appropriately. But he really looked lost out there, man. That's why him next Thursday, it's oh Lord have mercy. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something for true. We glossed over a lot, okay, and you can see the screen changed a little bit, and this is what's been going viral recently, and for very good reason. It's a minute 47, and if you thought that Jack Black had any credibility left, I mean, listen, I'm an OG Jack Black hater. The only time that I actually appreciated him was when he was the main character in Brutal Legend, okay? Double Fine's literally only good game, or at least last good game. It was mostly just good because it had, you know, all your, you know, metal cameos, Rob Halford, Ozzy Osbourne, Lemmy Kilmister. Jack Black was tolerable in the role, like, let's be completely honest, but that's another topic for another time. Now, he goes out there and unironically stumps for Biden in one of the most crazy ways possible, because at least you can explain away the Clooney, the Roberts, and Streisand. She's just such a sped anyways, but them just parroting the talking points, that democracy is at stake and our children's future, all of that same crap that we've heard over the past decade. Oh my God, Orange Man's so bad. Why is he so bad? Because he's threatening democracy. Well, actually, the country is a constitutional republic. Oh no, what are you, some type of fascist? And then that cycle just, whatever. Okay, I don't pay attention to political talking points, you know, parroted by Hollywood idiots, unless they're especially cringy. And well, here we go.
A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president and speak here tonight. And I said, I am in. When and where?
And how much is the appearance fee? Because apparently none of that appearance fee is going to go to his actual appearance. Like, what the yo.
Thank you. And then they said, Jack, we know how busy you are. You don't have time.
He literally does at this point. Okay, when was the last time like a live action Jack Black film was out there? Because I remember, when he was first, you know, getting big in Hollywood. He's always been big, but he had Orange County, Shallow Hal. But more recently, like, all of his high-profile roles have been voice acting. And apparently he really takes that to heart, because he could just do that in his basement and not worry about cleaning himself or, I don't know, working on his Jack Murphy-style beard. Because here we are once again, starting to get those grays on the side, Jack. It's not a good look unless you're into that sort of thing. And then it's just, you know, a super helpful signifier. And, well, given the fact how much he's going to fillet to the current commander-in-chief, maybe it's a bit more appropriate.
Look at all the other events that are happening tonight that you already turned down. MC at the Fliegelman Bat Mitzvah. The opening of the new Jack in the Box in Oxnard. Judge at the second annual Imperial Valley Avocado Festival. You don't see that on Meryl Streep's resume. I said, I know I turned them down, but my president needs me. Thank you. And then they hit me with the big one. They said, Jack, you can't go. You have nothing to wear. Your good suit is in the cleaners. Well, were they wrong? Because I had this to wear. My kick-ass American flag overalls. Most patriotic outfit of all times. That shut him up.
Over.
There wasn't much they could say after that. And when the president wins in November, yeah! I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a sweet shout out in his victory speech for what I gave up to be here. Because when democracy is at stake, Jack Black answers the call.
Why is he getting so red? This is, like, I've got nothing to say to this. This is just, this is anti-comedy. It's anti-entertainment. It's just, is this the void that broadcast television is now? It's kind of crazy, but it's also kind of the reason why I don't engage, and very few people actually do, with regular TV, but okay.
Mr. President, you're welcome. That's not the president. That's not Judge. It's a random dude. But I thought it would look better if I talked right to a guy.
Yeah, it's probably, another celebrity that was paid to be there, but, oh, that's it? Good, at least somebody got a laugh out of it. It's just normally cringe to laugh at your own jokes. Holy shit, bro. As you can tell, okay, people are appropriately roasting this crap because that's what it is, man. Okay, an opportunity to just simply shill your AstroTurf to Dark Brandon meme. I really don't think, like, as out of touch as your regular celebrity is and thinking that what they say matters, but do they actually think that Joe Biden is going to win in November? Do they actually think that Joe Biden is going to be on the ballot in November? I kind of think. I do hope that Biden does make it to November. I don't want him to drop dead or anything like that, okay? I don't like his politics. I don't like who he has conformed himself to be as president. I think he's obviously and tangibly the worst president, at least in my time, if not of an even broader time scale. But no. I would love for him to be on the ballot in November and for him to summarily lose, and then we can just, deal with the aftermath of that insanity, because that's going to be a whole other kettle of fish. Just as lifeless as that 1 minute 47 seconds was, even though Jack was just getting red in the face, mostly because it had been a minute 47 since he's had anything to eat, there's no enthusiasm around the Biden campaign. The little to none. They might have all the star power in the world, but it's 2024, and Hollywood right now is going through a historic drought. Tentpole films with supposed movie stars falling directly on their face. I find it incredibly apropos. Both of these institutions team up to try to tell you that they know better when they can't even keep their own house in order. If they wanted to give advice, if they wanted to give first-hand advice on how to do the things that they know how to do the best, I would say at this point in time, if you're going to have a Biden or if you're going to have a Hollywood producer get on stage, the only advice that I'd like to hear from them is how to be a convicted felon and stay out of jail. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.